And DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The news is brought to you by Connexus, offering fiber internet in Clinton. Click their icon on DeWittDailyNews.com to find out more, as well as Bomb Chevy Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Data centers have been the latest discussion point for DeWitt County's Land Use Committee. At the Monday night Land Use Committee meeting, Chair Buck Carter presented his committee members with a draft for a 2-year moratorium on data centers to allow them to do more research and decide if they are a good fit for DeWitt County. This draft was largely based on the county's moratorium on wind from a few years ago.
I looked at the language that we used several years ago when we did the moratorium that we did on wind. So basically I put together the same language, and I would like to, I guess, from the land use, make a recommendation that the county board consider placing a temporary moratorium on data centers. I'll provide the language at the county board as to that it be a 2-year.
Yeah, we do have to make that.
Does the moratorium need to specify the reasons? Like here,
Yeah,
it
sort of does. Basically, what it says is that the Regional Planning Commission and the DeWitt County Board are working in good faith with diligence to make necessary regulation changes to zoning ordinances in order to address concerns or issues with construction of such facilities. It is hereby decided that additional time is necessary to complete such an amendment to the DeWitt County zoning ordinance process.
Joe Whitty recommended that Carter run the draft by State's Attorney Dan Markwell with the intention of improving it and making sure that there are no legal red flags. A moratorium would also have to go through the Regional Planning Commission. However, they have already discussed the need for it.
So I would say maybe run that by Mr. Markwell, because I think the last time I was looking.
Mr. Markwell will object to it. You know that. He did the last time we did it.
So he's our legal counsel.
Instead of running it by like
Or
is it
pass the
good,
moratoriums.
giving that and say, how can we make this better
And then
to pass it or whatever.
I think we do it and live with the results.
Isn't the RPC also looking at data centers?
The RPC actually decided that they wanted the moratorium as well. We're putting together one similar to what Champaign had. Champaign did a resolution that said 12 months. And they put together, Champaign did theirs because Champaign actually allows data centers per an ordinance from like 2022. So they had to put something in place. So they did a resolution and it's for 12 months, and they built a task force within it. So that way they could review what they had on file and see how they could make it better. So that way, if they did allow them, this would be how they allowed them during that time period. And that's kind of what the RPC was wanting to bring to you guys.
Concerns over water and power usage were brought up. Chris Hammer referenced that he had heard from his constituents about their disapproval of data centers. Pat Ryan was concerned with loopholes in the county's ordinances that could allow developers to apply before a moratorium is instated.
Everybody I'm talking to says they don't want it. The water, the power.
Yeah, I'm very concerned with the Muhammad Aquifer.
No, me too. If I have to redo my well or whatever it's called because some water sucked up.
We just went through this with the landfill and throwing something else at it.
No, I'm with you. So long story short, this is great. I think we need to do it. I just don't know how. So if this works.
if somebody submitted an application tomorrow to build a data center, what do we have that would govern where they can put it?
Right now?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be allowed because there's nothing that even covers it. There's nothing similar to it.
Let him know we want this in there. I don't know of anyone that doesn't. So let's make it work. And I mean, that's what he gets paid to do, help us too, right? So yeah, I think shoot it to him and see what he says.
Zoning Administrator Liz Weichel reassured the committee that as long as there are no ordinances in place, a text amendment would have to be proposed to allow data center development. This could be thought of as a safety net should a moratorium not be approved in time.
There's
They wouldn't be
nothing.
allowed, or we wouldn't have any reason to disallow it because we don't.
Normally, if it's not in the book, it's not allowed.
You have to do a text amendment to add it if you want,
Mhm.
right? And tell which districts should be
That makes me
allowed.
feel a little bit.
Yeah,
Which kind of goes back to the whole legality thing. I think in Mr. Burns' presentation, he said, I jotted down, Sangamon County State's Attorney is researching whether the board has the legal authority to impose a temporary moratorium. So Mr. Markwell, if that is his opinion, I don't know if it is, but if that is his opinion, he's not alone. There's other state's attorneys with the same concern. And if it's not allowed per our zoning code, this is maybe getting our, taking a position publicly, but I don't know if a moratorium is necessary. It doesn't sound like it is if it's not even in our zoning code. But if there is ambiguity, I think the zoning administrator takes it to the ZBA and they
To
make
get-
the recommendation
right.
as to what, if it does at all. But, he may not.
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in his mouth, and I don't want to anticipate what he's going to say. Give him the opportunity to improve it, like you said,
Yeah.
or
I think that's,
look at it to see if there's some
I
concerns.
agree too.
And if, again, he is our legal counsel, so he will have some sway with board members. That's where I think if it doesn't pass, it sounds like you got the safety net where it's not in the zoning ordinance right now. So it wouldn't be allowed.
The committee decided that the draft would be sent to Markwell and heard at this month's full board meeting. Coming up shortly on this expanded newscast, the Vault to host garage sale fundraiser. A group of teens is using the resources they have through the University of Illinois Extension to host a family fun night. Marissa Capps, 4-H youth extension educator in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties, explains that their teen council has planned the annual family fun night. This year, it will be on March 13th at 5 p.m. at the Macon County Extension Office.
Coming up real soon on March 13th, we have our family fun night, and that is going to be at the Macon Extension Office in Decatur, March 13th from 5 to 7. And it's going to be a night of activities, food, and fun, and you can come and learn about 4-H. Our teen council is putting this on, actually. So all of these activities and ideas, everything that you'll see is guided by our teen council. So our members that are part of this have put this activity night together.
Sure.
And it's going to be really exciting.
The Teen Council is a program that has recently been reintroduced within the extension. Capps explains that students apply for the position and are involved in planning events throughout the year.
Our teen council is new this year. It's reintroduced, I should say, this year. It's been something that's happened in the past, and our educators, Haley Jones and Henry Kraft, have brought that back. And our teen council is application based. So a few months ago, we had several of our teen 4-H members submit applications, and Henry and Haley went through and approved several of those applications. And those members have now become part of the teen council. And teen council has had several different roles since they've started. So in November, during our awards night, they helped plan activities for that, as well as emceed for the night as well. So they came and helped read off names, and it's incredibly rewarding and just cool to see these kids that I have worked with in the past for the past couple years that have stepped up for this teen council, and to see the change and to see them kind of blossoming into a young adult. It's very, very rewarding.
Again, the Family Fun Night is on March 13th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Macon County Extension Office in Decatur. Learn more by visiting extension.illinois.edu/DMP. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Let's take a quick break with a word from our sponsors.
March into Baum Chevrolet Buick and march out with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have over 20 Silverados to fit your daily work needs in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel, all sale priced. Also, check out the Colorado pickup. This size and maneuverability may be another option as well. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to fiber fast internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 20 minutes after the top of the hour. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. A Clinton nonprofit is returning to a fundraiser that they did last year, but this time it will be bigger and better. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Executive Director of the Vault in Clinton, Wendy Dement, told the Heart Media Group that this Saturday they will host the garage sale fundraiser, and this year they will be opening the second floor. She reminds that anyone interested in donating items should do so by this Wednesday.
This is our second annual garage sale, and it's Donna McClurg. She is running it for us. She's taking the donations. She extended the day that they'll take the donations to. So Wednesday is the last day to get those donations in.
Mm-hmm.
She is actually taking those and taking care of those because we don't have the storage to keep all of those. It's going to be bigger this year than it was last year. She's got so much more. We're going to open up both floors this year. And last year we only had the first floor. This year it's going to be both. We're going to do it from 10 to 5. And we are going to accept debit and credit cards this year. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And we're very excited about it. We'll have the vault will be full of everything that's been donated over the past year. Really, she started collecting just about when it ended last year. Toys, household goods, clothes, just about anything you could imagine. Books, electronics, all kinds of things. All the proceeds will go to the vault. So there'll be something for everybody. Yeah, come and see us.
It takes a lot of hands to make a fundraiser like this happen. Dement indicates that leadership from the vault, as well as some students, will be helping to keep things moving. She is, however, asking for community volunteers.
Well, Donna's got a few people helping her. We've got some of our mentors are helping us, and then I'll be there. They'll probably help us bring tables up. They probably not with the transactions. We'll take care of that. If they would want to come and help us, they can come and help with, some of the setup and things like that. If anybody would want to come and help us set up, that would be wonderful. They can get a hold of me, wdement@thevaultclinton.com. Yeah, I would take all the help I can get.
Last year was the first time the Vault hosted this fundraiser. Dement explains that one of the challenges they faced was finding room to store the donations they received. They are also making a change to how they set things up.
It went so well. We had a line out the door before we even opened the doors. We were busy all day, and yeah, it was great. I mean, we sold a lot of stuff and we had a lot left over. And so we're hoping that we'll sell even more this year. Well, we want to make it open up. Well, first of all, we have more stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going to expand it. But also to make it not so crowded, because when just having that one floor last year, it got pretty congested. It was Donna's idea to have it. It was something she wanted to do. And she said she'd organize it. And that I was like, hey, great. You want to run with that? That'd be great. Because the big thing was she was willing to accept those donations and even pick them up if needed and store them. That was the key thing, because we don't have a lot of storage space. We've got a lot of room in the vault, and it's all taken up with all of our games and entertainment and the things for the kids. And our storage space is very limited to, our cafe storage, our prize vault, a very small tool room. So when she was ready to do that and wanted to organize it, she got it together. She tags everything. And so she did that for us. And so last year we had to set it up the day of. which was a lot of work and very difficult. But this year we're going to have our glow dodgeball the night before, and so that'll be at FCC. So if we've got the kids doing that, we can get in there and get everything set up the day before, which is going to be a huge help for us to do that.
The garage sale fundraiser takes place at the Vault on the Clinton Square this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more by visiting thevaultclinton.org or by finding them on Facebook. The Rural Business Transitions webinar series begins this week. It's a collaboration between the University of Illinois Extension and the Illinois Institute for Rural Affairs.
But they're more talking about the current business trends. We start, for example, with business transitions, and Tessa Conroy will talk about what are the numbers, what percentage of the business owners, for example, are within retirement age. What's the story on young people coming in? Are they entrepreneurial? These kinds of things. And then we'll talk a little bit about the succession practices and why, while we promote succession practices all the time, as often as not, they don't work. Or they aren't, I won't say they don't work, they're not as effective. And it could be for a lot of different reasons, or maybe the people in the business aren't ready to take a new ownership model or something like that. So there are many reasons why just succession planning hasn't been as effective as we had hoped. And then another session will be on worker cooperatives. And we've seen cooperatives in many places in agriculture and other areas, but cooperative businesses are really kind of a growing theme of what's going on in many states. And cooperatives, again, are another transition strategy, separate, let's say, from employee ownership.
The first session is today, with other sessions planned for March 24th, April 7th, April 21st, and May 5th. More information or register at go.illinois.edu/RBT. The Illinois Farm Bureau Actively Engaged Student of the Month for March is Lillian Helbig from Oakville High School. Her involvement began at a young age with the Oakville Busy Bees 4-H Club.
At 4-H when I was younger, I learned about how our community is such a big ag community and what everything how everything relates to ag, and I learned about projects and dairy days, how important dairy farms were and the activities, and how it just made me feel that it made me feel proud about the community I've grown up in, and it made me realize that ag is what I had a passion for.
Nominations are being accepted throughout the school year for the Illinois Farm Bureau Actively Engaged Student of the Month. Nominations should come from an FFA advisor, coach, club, or activity sponsor, or 4-H or county fair representative. Nominations can be made at farmweeknow.com/actively-engaged. USDA's latest quarterly agricultural trade forecast shows another forecasted reduction in our nation's ag trade deficit. Now for your local obituaries. Michelle R. Cusi, 61, of Wapella, passed away at 11:03 p.m. March 4th, 2026 at her family residence in Wapella. No services are planned at this time. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with cremation rights. Memorials may be made to Second Chance Pet Adoption. Charles R. Williams, 75, of Clinton, Illinois, passed away at 3:08 a.m. March 2nd at his home in Clinton. Private services will be held at a later date. The family entrusted Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with cremation rights. Memorials may be directed to the American Heart Association or to Encore Developmental Services and Thrift Store. Get news anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWitt County's #1 source for news, sports, police blotter, obituaries, and more. DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. A short-term excursion is one way President Trump describes the Iran war now in day 11. Iran, meanwhile, continues firing drones, and not only at Israel, but at some of its Arab League neighbors, including Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. The president has told House Republicans stand firm on the Save America Act. That's the election integrity bill opposed by the Democrats. And the president threatens a legislative blockade until the Save America Act passes Congress. Georgia voters going to the polls, choosing a successor to Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Special election comes after Greene resigned her seat in January amid a falling out with President Trump. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures are up 18 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 4. The S&P futures down 2 points. More details, srnnews.com.
Is your Jesus shaped more by culture than by scripture? In our instant world, we've made Jesus into a life coach, a therapist, a political ally. The Missing Messiah, a new book by Kyle Idleman and Mark Moore, helps us understand how Western culture has gradually reshaped Jesus into our image and recognize the difference between a personalized Savior and a revolutionary King. If you believe there's a more dangerous, more majestic Messiah than the one you've inherited, visit missingmessiah.com to learn more.
Hey, it's Flo here to say drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Nice. With my new savings, I'll get some hiking gear. It'll be great for my outdoor era.
I don't know if it counts as an era if you just buy stuff.
I got a cute hiking backpack. It's an outdoor era.
Well, you only bought one thing. I don't think it's an era.
Well, I think we're in a agree to disagree era.
Yeah, sure, you're probably right. Anyway, with the money you could save by switching to Progressive, you can afford to switch to other things in life. It's
my savings era.
Also, everything you do is not an era.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliate.
From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In high school boys basketball Super-Sectional Championship scores from last night, in Class 1A, top-seeded Lawrenceville took down 1-seed Leroy 48-26. While second seed Eastland beat 2-seed Tremont 47-45. In Class 2A, the 1-seed Quincy Notre Dame beat 2-seed Benton 55-36, while top-seeded Tolono Unity took down 1-seed McNamara 77-70, and top-seeded Peoria Manual routed 1-seed Johnsburg 75-41. In Class 3A, top-seeded East St. Louis beat 1-seed Decatur MacArthur 51-49. Frank Nazar scored a power play goal with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left in overtime to give the Chicago Blackhawks a 3-2 victory over the Utah Mammoth on Monday night. Andrew Magnapane scored his first goal as a Blackhawk since being acquired in a trade from Edmonton last week. And Andre Burakovsky lifted the puck on his stick, lacrosse style, and flicked it into the net to tie the game at 2-2 in the second period. It was his first goal since January 7th in a span of 19 games. Drew Comesso, making his third start of the season and first since January 10th when he had his first career shutout in a 3-0 win over Nashville, made 22 saves. Connor Bedard had 2 assists for Chicago, including one on Nazar's winner. Barrett Hayton and Dylan Gunther scored for Utah, which is battling for a wild card playoff spot in the Western Conference and had won the first 3 games of a 5-game road trip. Vitek Vanecek had 23 saves. Gunther has now scored a team-leading 30 goals this season, the first time in his career he has reached that mark. He has scored in 3 of 4 games on the road trip with 6 points in those contests. Chicago, which has lost 3 in a row, including a 4-3 setback to Dallas on Sunday night, has now won all 3 meetings with Utah this season, with the team's 4th and final game of the season scheduled for Thursday night. Chicago played without Spencer Knight and Oliver Moore, who left Sunday's game in the first period. The Mammoth visit the Minnesota Wild on Tuesday night, while the Blackhawks visit the Utah Mammoth on Thursday night. The Chicago Bears have agreed to a 3-year, $40 million contract with former Seattle Seahawks safety and Super Bowl champion Coby Bryant, and a 3-year, $30 million deal with former Cleveland Browns linebacker Devin Bush Jr. Contracts can't be finalized until the start of the league year on Wednesday. The 26-year-old Bryant, named after the LA Lakers great, was a key part of a defense that allowed for the fewest points in the NFL and helped Seattle win its 2nd Super Bowl championship last season. He had 4 interceptions after recording 3 in 2024 and 7 passes defensed in 15 games. He missed the final 2 regular season games because of a knee injury and returned in the playoffs. Bush, who is 27, set career highs last season with 125 tackles and 3 interceptions, returning 2 for touchdowns. Drafted by Pittsburgh with the number 10 overall pick in 2019, he has 5 interceptions and 7 sacks in 7 seasons with the Steelers, Seattle, and the Browns. Chicago went 11-6 last season and won its first division title since 2018. The Bears advanced in the playoffs for the first time in 15 years, rallying to beat the Green Bay Packers in a wild card thriller before losing to the Los Angeles Rams in overtime in the divisional round. The Packers released Elgton Jenkins on Monday after a 7-year run in which he showcased his versatility while earning 2 Pro Bowl selections. The Packers are also trading Rashan Gary to the Dallas Cowboys for a 2027 4th-round pick. Jenkins' release should clear about $19.5 million in cap space. Jenkins primarily played left guard for Green Bay before moving over to center last year to make room for Aaron Banks, who signed a 4-year, $77 million contract with the Packers in March 2025 after playing 4 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers. Jenkins wasn't as effective at center as he had been at left guard, and his season ended after 9 games because of an ankle injury. The 30-year-old Jenkins started 94 games at 4 different spots on the offensive line in his time in Green Bay. He made 67 starts at left guard, 13 at center, 8 at left tackle, and 6 at right tackle. The 28-year-old's Gary's 46.5 sacks ranked 6th among Packers since at least 1982. His move to Dallas marks the 2nd straight year the Cowboys and Green Bay have agreed on a trade involving an edge rusher. Gary was the number 12 pick in 2019, 2 years before Parsons went to the Cowboys in the same draft spot. Gary had 7.5 sacks last season, but none in the final 10 games of an up-and-down year when the Packers were hoping he would benefit from some extra attention that defense is devoted to containing Parsons. Parsons will be working alongside a different set of edge rushers this year when he returns from his torn ACL. As the Packers were finalizing their trade of Gary, Kingsley Egbere was agreeing to terms with the New York Jets on a 1-year deal worth $10 million. He's 26 years old and had 11.5 sacks in 4 seasons with the Packers. Green Bay's defense also was losing linebacker Quay Walker, a first-round draft pick in 2022. Walker is heading to the Las Vegas Raiders after agreeing to a 3-year, $40.5 million contract with a $28 million guarantee. Other notable NFL moves from yesterday in free agency, the Raiders signed Ravens center Tyler Linbaum to a 3-year, $81 million deal, while the Chiefs signed Super Bowl champion and former Seattle Seahawk running back Kenneth Walker III to a 3-year, $43.05 million deal. Mike Evans is now with the San Francisco 49ers on a 3-year, $42.4 million deal, while Malik Willis is going to the Miami Dolphins on a 3-year, $67.5 million deal. Tua Tagovailoa is signing with the Atlanta Falcons on a minimum contract, while Travis Kelce agreed to return to the Kansas City Chiefs on a 1-year deal. In a couple of big trades, Minkah Fitzpatrick was traded to the New York Jets from the Miami Dolphins, while Michael Pittman Jr. was traded from the Indianapolis Colts to the Pittsburgh Steelers. In scores from around the NBA last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Philadelphia 76ers 115-101, while the Oklahoma City Thunder took down the Denver Nuggets 129-126. The Brooklyn Nets beat the Memphis Grizzlies 126-115, while the Utah Jazz edged out the Golden State Warriors 119-116, and the LA Clippers beat the New York Knicks 126-118. In scores from around the NHL last night, the LA Kings beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-4 in overtime, while the Washington Capitals routed the Calgary Flames 7-3. The New York Rangers beat the Philadelphia Flyers 6-2, and the Ottawa Senators shut out the Vancouver Canucks 2-0. Get highlights of your local high school program by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platforms, and get local sports anytime from your computer or your mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.